Lavender was introduced into England in the 1600s. It is said that Queen Elizabeth prized a lavender conserve, jam, at her table, so lavender was produced as a jam at that time, as well as used in teas both medicinally and for its taste. Lavender was not used in traditional southern French cooking at the turn of the 20th century. It does not appear at all in the best-known compendium of Provençal cooking, J.B. Riebol's Cuisinière Provençale. French lambs have been allowed to graze on lavender as it is alleged to make their meat more tender and fragrant. In the 1970s, a blend of herbs called Herbes de Provence was invented by spice wholesalers. Culinary lavender is added to the mixture in the North American version. In the 21st century, lavender is used in many world regions to flavor tea, vinegar, jellies, baked goods, and beverages. During Roman times, flowers were sold for 100 denarii per pound, which was about the same as a month's wages for a farm laborer, or 50 haircuts from the local barber. Its late Latin name was lavandarius, from lavanda, things to be washed, from lavare from the verb lavo. It is native to the Old World and is found in Cape Verde and the Canary Islands, and from Europe across to northern and eastern Africa, the Mediterranean, Southwest Asia to India. Many members of the genus are cultivated extensively in temperate climates as ornamental plants for garden and landscape use, for use as culinary herbs, and also commercially for the extraction of essential oils. The most widely cultivated species, Lavandula angustifolia, is often referred to as lavender, and there is a color named for the shade of the flowers of this species. Lavender has been used over centuries in traditional medicine and cosmetics. Flower spikes are used for dried flower arrangements. The fragrant, pale purple flowers and flower buds are used in potpourris. Lavender is also used as herbal filler inside sachets used to freshen linens. Dried and sealed in pouches, lavender flowers are placed among stored items of clothing to give a fresh fragrance and to deter moths. Dried lavender flowers may be used for wedding confetti. Lavender is also used in scented waters and sachets. As an aromatic, it has a sweet fragrance with lemon or citrus notes. It is used as a spice or condiment in pastas, salads and dressings, and desserts. Their buds and greens are used in teas, and their buds, processed by bees, are the essential ingredient of a monofloral honey. For most cooking applications, the dried buds, which are also referred to as flowers, are used. Lavender greens have a more subtle flavor when compared to rosemary. The potency of the lavender flowers increases with drying, which necessitates more sparing use to avoid a heavy, soapy aftertaste. Chefs note to reduce by 2/3 the dry amount in recipes that call for fresh lavender buds. Lavender buds can amplify both sweet and savory flavors in dishes and are sometimes paired with sheep's milk and goat's milk cheeses. Lavender flowers are occasionally blended with black, green, or herbal teas. Lavender flavors baked goods and desserts, pairing especially well with chocolate. In the United States, both lavender syrup and dried lavender buds are used to make lavender scones and marshmallows. Lavender buds are put into sugar for 2 weeks to allow the essential oils and fragrance to transfer, then the sugar itself is used in baking. Lavender can be used in breads where recipes call for rosemary. Lavender can be used decoratively in dishes or spirits, or as a decorative and aromatic in a glass of champagne. Lavender is used in savory dishes, giving stews and reduced sauces aromatic flair. It is also used to scent flans, custards, and sorbets. The flowers yield abundant nectar, from which bees make a high-quality honey. Monofloral honey is produced primarily around the Mediterranean Sea, and is marketed worldwide as a premium product. Flowers can be candied and are sometimes used as cake decorations. It is also used to make lavender sugar. The German Scientific Committee on Traditional Medicine, Commission E, reported uses of lavender flower in practices of herbalism, including its use for restlessness or insomnia, Röhm-Held syndrome, intestinal discomfort, and cardiovascular diseases, among others. The U.S. National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health states that lavender is considered likely safe in food amounts, and that topical uses may cause allergic reactions. NCCIH does not recommend the use of lavender while pregnant or breastfeeding because of lack of knowledge of its effects. It recommends caution if young boys use lavender oil because of possible hormonal effects leading to gynecomastia. A 2007 study examined the relationship between various fragrances and photosensitivity, stating that lavender is known to elicit cutaneous phototoxic reactions, but does not induce photohemolysis. Some people experience contact dermatitis, allergic eczema, or facial dermatitis from the use of lavender oil on skin. Flowers are contained in whorls, held on spikes rising above the foliage, the spikes being branched in some species. Some species produce colored bracts at the tips of the inflorescences. The flowers may be blue, violet or lilac in the wild species, occasionally blackish purple or yellowish. The calyx is tubular. The corolla is also tubular, usually with 5 lobes, the upper lip often cleft, and the lower lip has 2 clefts. Commercially, the plant is grown mainly for the production of lavender essential oil. English lavender yields an oil with sweet overtones and can be used in balms, salves, perfumes, cosmetics, and topical applications. Lavandula times intermedia, also known as lavandin or Dutch lavender, hybrids of L. angustifolia and L. latifolia. They yield a similar essential oil, but with higher levels of terpenes including camphor, which add a sharper overtone to the fragrance, regarded by some as of lower quality than that of English lavender. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration considers lavender as generally recognized as safe for human consumption. The essential oil was used in hospitals during World War I. The English word lavender came into use in the 13th century, and is generally thought to derive from Old French lavandre, ultimately from Latin lavare from lavo, to wash, referring to the use of blue infusions of the plants. The botanic name lavandula as used by Linnaeus is considered to be derived from this and other European vernacular names for the plants. Because the cultivated forms are planted in gardens worldwide, they are occasionally found growing wild as garden escapes, well beyond their natural range. Such spontaneous growth is usually harmless, but in some cases, lavandula species have become invasive. For example, in Australia, Lavandula stoiches has become a cause for concern. It occurs widely throughout the continent and has been declared a noxious weed in Victoria since 1920. It is regarded as a weed in parts of Spain. Lavenders flourish best in dry, well-drained, sandy or gravelly soils in full sun. English lavender has a long germination process, 14 to 28 days, and matures within 100 to 110 days. All types need little or no fertilizer and good air circulation. In areas of high humidity, root rot due to fungus infection can be a problem. Organic mulches can trap moisture around the plant's bases, encouraging root rot. Gravelly materials such as crushed rocks give better results. It grows best in soils with a pH between 6 and 8. Most lavender is hand harvested, and harvest times vary depending on intended use.